Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to another video. As you can see from the title, this is another story time with Stan. I always feel a little obligated to say this next part. If you guys don't know what story time with Stan is, it is a little segment I have here on my channel where I talk about past experiences of my life, hoping that you guys can somewhat learn from it as well. Now, don't let the weather fool you. It is actually very cold here in Vancouver, BC today. For those countries that use Celsius, it is 10 degrees today, and those countries that use Fahrenheit, that would equal to about 48 degrees Fahrenheit. So it is pretty cold, and I'm thinking that it's going to be a 5-degree and 10-degree drop respectively by next month. So we're hitting pretty cold weather. Luckily, I do have some cold weather gear. First season that I actually tested out fully, because I'm going to be keeping this little bike insured for the whole year past the winter time. I will be uninsuring my big bike pretty soon, so I'm going to be missing that thing for quite a bit. But that's alright. That's why I have two bikes, which leads me to the perfect segue here. As you can see from the title, this is the story of how I got into riding. This has been a pretty heavily suggested topic for story time, so I'm finally glad that I can go out and do it. I do have to admit though, like, story times are pretty hard to tell, especially when you're riding the bike. There's a lot of things to think about. Of course, you gotta prioritize the road and stuff like that. So it's not like one of those story times that you see traditionally on YouTube where, you know, they're just sitting down in front of a computer or they animate it and everything's scripted. Everything is off the cusp for me, so I do miss a lot of details. And as I'm editing these videos, I'm thinking to myself, like, damn, I should have said this, I should have said that, I should have said this. But you know what? We're not gonna go scripted, okay? We're gonna go by memory, and we're just gonna feel it out as it goes. Here we go. So to start off the story, we gotta travel back in time to 2015. By this point in my life, I already had thought about riding. I always wanted to have a motorcycle. Even when I was in high school, I thought about riding, but I could never get myself to just pull the trigger and get a bike and start the whole process. You know, I was just very unmotivated. Until one day in April or June of 2015, one of my friends messages me saying that we should get our motorcycle license. Of course, the first thing I asked was like why? Why should we get it? And then he proceeded to show me a video by, lo and behold, Walterific. In this video, Walter goes up to this car and there's this girl in the passenger seat, and next thing you know, she rides his passenger seat. It's a really old video of his, but it's also one of his most popular ones as well. So if you guys haven't seen that, you should go check it out, because that for me was the big stepping stone to me getting my license and me getting into vlogging. But anyways, I'm getting a little too ahead of myself here. Let's backtrack a little bit here. So he shows me the video and I'm thinking like, whoa, that's super cool. Like, I want to do that. A couple weeks later, you know, we're studying for our test, our learner's license, and we both take it and we both get our licenses. We start going to motorcycle stores to check out gear, and next thing you know, I'm buying a helmet, and then he and I are both buying gloves online. Before those gloves can even arrive, he backs out and he says, I don't want to get a motorcycle anymore. It's too much money, too much of an investment. So that's kind of the funny story of how, you know, he convinced me, but then he didn't follow through. But I'm still doing it and he still hasn't done it to this day. So that's pretty much the long and short of how I got into riding. Motovlogging is a whole separate thing, but I will talk about it a little bit here. I love riding, and every now and then I love to ride without having to worry about making videos and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, making these videos on YouTube has been such an amazing experience for me. I get to look back at my old videos and relive memories that, you know, were really happy times for me, and I would never trade that for anything in the world. It's nice riding and having another purpose to ride as well. It's really motivating in its own way. And I'm not trying to brag, I'm just trying to be honest with you guys. The fact that I have been able to work for a living off YouTube, basically creating a life from riding, that truly is a blessing to me. And if you were to ask me if I had a second chance to redo things, I'd tell you I'd do the exact same thing. I would do YouTube again. This is going to be one of the biggest things I've ever experienced in my life, hands down. I want to tell you guys something here. It's a mindset that I have, really. It's whether you want to look at it as a bad thing or a good thing, that's up to you. I'm not a money-driven guy. I would never want to be poor. I've experienced that before. I don't want to have no money. I am a very live-in-the-moment kind of person. You know, I'll spend money on things that make me happy because I'm worried that I might not be able to experience these things if I die. And it was kind of a lesson that my mom taught me indirectly. It wasn't her fault. If she could have it her way, if she was still alive, she'd be like, work harder, make more money, save all your money for your future kids and stuff like that. There's still a part of me that believes in that, okay? But at the same time, my mom worked her ass off for us. She spent hours and hours working for us, and what did she have to show for it? She died. She was 35 years old. She was so young, she never got to enjoy her own life. So for me, I look back at that and I feel sorry for her that she never got to experience anything. And I just can't get myself to have that same mindset as she does. You know, I cherish things like my weekend and my own time. Like, my own time is more valuable to me than my money. Now that I'm doing YouTube and I get to work from home and stuff like that, I can see my friends more often. I can have more of a social life. I can see my family more often. And those things are far more important to me than money. Like, don't get me wrong, I love money, okay? Like, money is the reason I have these toys that I have. So I'll never get myself to sink to the point where I have no money. But yeah, you know, that's just kind of who I am. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm sure there's pros and cons to it. And you know, let me know down below, what's your mindset when it comes to that stuff? I'm very curious to know what you guys think about that. Anyways, I guess I've kind of gone off on a little tangent here. I was talking about how I started riding. Now I got into like financial stuff. I apologize for that, but I didn't want to make this video too short because the story of me getting into riding isn't all that fascinating at all. It's very short actually, so I thought I'd add a little bit more layers to that. But yeah, if there's any topics that you want me to discuss for future story times, let me know down below. And with all that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and of course I will see you in the next one. Peace.